Hello there, my name is Nihal, and today what I want to talk about is blood flow and blood pressure. So this is part of my e-portfolio, and yeah, let's just get straight to it. So there are three sections to this portfolio. So what are my learning goals for this topic? The topic summary and topic reflection. To move on with the first part of the presentation, what are my learning goals for this topic? So I want to learn about what takes place when somebody gets their blood pressure checked. I want to learn about the physiology involved in blood flow and pressure. I want to understand how a patient's blood pressure is checked using a pumped blood pressure monitor. And I want this topic to be meaningful for me so I can use the material that I will learn in this topic in real life situations. So, the topic summary. So, what I'm going to do is have a brief summary in every section that is mentioned here. So that is blood flow, blood pressure, pulse and measuring blood pressure, factors affecting blood flow, and systemic vascular resistance. So I'll just start off with blood flow. The blood flow, so it is basically the blood in our heart pumps and flows to any tissue or organ in a given time period. So usually it is expressed in millimeters per minute, and to keep things short, I have provided a YouTube video, but I like this YouTube video, and the reason why I like it is because it shows a simulation of the blood flowing all over the body. It has a lot of details that I don't even mention in this presentation. But after all, this is a summary. I'm trying to keep it as brief as possible, and I will show it, but there is no sound, unfortunately. And so just to save time, to keep things short, I'll show a bit of it, but not all of it. So as you can see here, the blood is flowing all over the body. I just personally think this is very cool because it shows, the flowing in action in a simulation form. So yeah, I'll just move on for now. So the next section that I want to get through is blood pressure. So what is blood pressure? It is the force per unit area exerted by blood on the walls of the blood vessels. So the blood pressure is highest in the aorta and large arteries. It can be seen on any blood pressure monitor. Now, when you get your blood pressure checked, you will see in the monitor there's two figures, two numbers, two sets of numbers actually. So basically what they mean is, I've provided an example here, so maybe 116. So 116 means systole. And basically what systole is, it's when the ventricles contract. And also there's the 80, and this means diastole. This means when the ventricles relax. And finally, to calculate the mean arterial blood pressure, you can calculate using the following formula. So that is the diastole plus, you put in brackets, systole minus diastole divided by 3. So that's blood pressure there. To move on to pulse and measuring blood pressure. So when arteries expand and recoil. This is known as the pulse. The blood pressure is monitored using a device called a self manometer. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Very hard to pronounce. And the steps involved in inputting a blood pressure monitor. So this is very brief. I mean, it is way more complex than this, but just to keep things short, the doctor wraps the cuff tightly around the arm. The pump is pressed and this cuts off the blood flow. The doctor listens for the first sound of blood, and finally the cuff is deflated. Any other pressure is known as diastolic pressure. And in Google Images I found this image here of a blood pressure monitor. This is the one with the pump that I was mentioning here. So yeah, that's that. Moving on. So factors affecting blood flow and blood pressure. So using a text-to mind map, I created this mind map. So there are 6 factors. That's vessel diameter, compliance, blood volume, cardiac output, blood viscosity, and vessel length. And what you can see here is I've put in brackets keywords of most of the factors. So here I put compliant and accommodate for compliance, whereas maybe here blood viscosity, so resistance to flow. So basically that's just like a phrase. And here, blood volume, increase blood flow and blood pressure. So yeah, moving on. Systemic vascular resistance. So this refers to vascular resistance. Basically what this means is that the opposition of blood flow, and this usually happens because of friction between the walls of the blood and the blood itself, and it depends on the vessel diameter and length as well as blood viscosity. So that is my topic summary there. So here I just want to give a credit for the resources I used to make this presentation. And finally, topic reflection. So there are 3 questions that I needed to answer, and I've provided the answers here. So question 1 says, what did you enjoy about this topic? So I said that I enjoy learning what really goes on when a doctor checks your blood pressure, and finally I also enjoyed watching videos in relation to blood flow, especially the video I use for this presentation. So question 2 says, what did you find challenging about this topic? And I said that I found it hard to remember that systole is when the ventricles contract and diastole is when the ventricles are relaxed. For the first few days when I was studying this, I kept mixing up the two. And finally, question 3 says, what more would you like to know about this topic? And I said, I would like to know further how the medical device companies apply the knowledge of blood flow and blood pressure. Like, what I mean is, do they have any research into improving existing blood pressure monitors? And if so, what are the new features that they will put into new blood pressure monitors? So that is basically it. This is my audio recording of the PowerPoint presentation. And yeah, so thank you for tuning in.